morning, students. Welcome to SST So Simple Tutorial. My dear students, in the previous class, we saw how the First World War helped in the growth of nationalism in India. Today, we will continue with the same chapter and try to understand Satyagraha. Dear students, Mahatma Gandhi made his entry into the Indian scene during the World War and emerged as a mass leader. The Indian national movement actually transformed into a mass movement under his leadership. Okay, have you watched the movie Gandhi? It was directed by Richard Attenborough and it was released in 1982. It had won 8 Oscars. If you have seen it, fine. But if you have not seen it, you must do it now. It is worth watching. From the syllabus point of view, it will be helpful. You would get a glimpse of freedom struggle in 3 hours. Okay. Mahatma Gandhi returned to India in January 1915. He practiced as a lawyer in Durban, South Africa for around 20 years. There, he struggled to improve the conditions of the poor Indians who were treated badly by the racist government of South Africa. I am sure that you are aware of apartheid that was practiced in South Africa those days. During this struggle, he evolved the technique of Satyagraha. It was indeed a novel method of mass agitation. Okay. Have you seen the second movie, Lage Raho Munna Bhai? Yes, most of you must have seen it. It is a comedy movie, but with a difference. What you find here is Munna Bhai, that is Sanjay Dutt, practicing what he calls Gandhigiri to help ordinary people solve their problems. His Gandhigiri is actually Satyagraha, non-violence and truth. Let us understand Satyagraha now. Satyagraha is made up of 2 words, Satya and Agraha. Satya means truth and Agraha means to insist on. That means insisting on truth or holding firmly to truth. The idea of Satyagraha emphasized the power of truth and the need to search for truth. His philosophy was to resist evil without hating the evildoer. Even while resisting evil, one could love the evildoer. It suggested that if the cause was true, if the struggle was against injustice, then physical force was not necessary to fight the oppressor. Without even thinking of taking revenge or thinking to retaliate or being aggressive, a Satyagrahi could win the battle through non-violence. This was possible by appealing to the conscience of the oppressor. So, instead of forcing the oppressor to accept the truth by using violence, the oppressor is required to be persuaded to see the truth and accept it happily. By this struggle, truth was bound to ultimately triumph. Let us see what is there in source A. Mahatma Gandhi on Satyagraha. It is said of passive resistance that it is the weapon of the weak, but the power which is the subject of this article can be used only by the strong. This power is not passive resistance. Indeed, it calls for intense activity. The movement in South Africa was not passive but active. Here, Mahatma Gandhi distinguishes between Satyagraha and passive resistance because previously he has often used Satyagraha and passive resistance as synonymous terms. But his Satyagraha differs from passive resistance as practiced in the West. He says passive resistance has admitted violence as in case of suffragettes and has been universally accepted as a weapon of the weak. He says his Satyagraha admits no violence in any circumstances. He says that his Satyagraha is not a weapon of the weak, only the strong and brave could practice it. Satyagraha is not physical force. A satyagrahi does not inflict pain on the adversary. He does not seek his destruction. In the use of satyagraha, there is no ill will whatever. Satyagraha is a pure soul force. Truth is the very substance of the soul. That is why this force is called Satyagraha. The soul is informed with knowledge. In it burns the flame of love. Non-violence is the supreme dharma. Here we come across two forces now spoken by Gandhiji: physical force and soul force. Mahatma Gandhi says Satyagraha is not a physical force, since the Satyagrahi is not inflicting pain or injury on the adversary, nor does he seek his destruction. Satyagraha is a pure soul force. It involves very great sacrifices to be made, which can be done only by strong-willed persons. Physical force believes in violent ways for achieving the goal, but soul force believes in non-violence and truth. Gandhiji very consciously chose Satyagraha as the mode of struggle against the British. He was aware that by no stretch of imagination the Britishers could be defeated in an armed struggle. They could be brought down to their knees in a peaceful, non-violent struggle about which they were totally ignorant. After arriving in India, he spent his first year traveling the country, getting to know the land and its people. Then he successfully organized Satyagraha movement in various places. In 1916, he went to Champaran in Bihar to inspire the peasants to struggle against the oppressive plantation system. This was the first Satyagraha movement led by Mahatma Gandhi in India. Then, in 1917, he organized a Satyagraha to support the peasants of the Kheda district of Gujarat. The peasants were affected by crop failure and plague epidemic. So the peasants could not pay the revenue and were demanding that revenue collection be relaxed. But the government refused to remit land revenue and insisted on its full collection. In 1918, Mahatma Gandhi went to Ahmedabad to organize a Satyagraha movement amongst cotton mill workers. As a result, the British had to increase the wages along with reforms in working conditions. Thus, Champaran, Ahmedabad and Kheda served as the demonstration of Gandhi's style and method of politics to the country. That is all about today's class. I hope you have understood the idea of Satyagraha. Champaran, Kheda and Ahmedabad are in your syllabus for map work. There is a separate video already existing in the channel for map work that you can see whenever you wish to. Let us now go to the question part. Students, now you should be able to answer these questions. 1. When did Mahatma Gandhi return to India from South Africa? 2. Why did Mahatma Gandhi visit Champaran in Bihar? 3. Why did Mahatma Gandhi organize a Satyagraha in Kheda district of Gujarat? 4. Explain Satyagraha. In the next class, we will meet with the same unit but a different topic. In the meantime, watch Gandhi. Keep reading and have a nice time. Thank you.